I know, I'm late again. I did say last week I was going to fix this, but I got too lazy this week. But now here it is. Welcome to week 12 of the 2023 Madden NFL season. There's a look at the division standings heading into week 12. And the current AFC and NFC playoff picture. Alright, let's get into it. So our first matchup is one of 3 Thanksgiving games. As you will see, the Green Bay Packers take on the Detroit Lions. The Lions needed a touchdown to get the win, but they failed to do it. So the Packers hold on and win 29-24. So the Packers are going to improve to 9-2 now, and the Lions are going to drop to 6-5. Up next is our second of our 3 Thanksgiving games, as this time you'll see the Washington Commanders take on the Dallas Cowboys in an NFC East battle. The Cowboys get a nice bounce back win as they win 31-17 over the Commanders. So the Cowboys are going to be back above 500 now, so improve to 6-5, and the Commanders are going to drop to 4-8. And our final Thanksgiving game will feature the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The winner of this game will move to second place in the NFC West. What a game this was, but the 49ers, they get a last-second touchdown, and they beat the Seahawks 28-24. So for the 49ers, they now move to second place in the NFC, and they'll improve to 6-5. And as for the Seahawks, it was a tough one for them. That was a heartbreaker. So unfortunately for them, they're going to drop to 6-5. Up next is our Black Friday game. Yes, an NFL game on a Friday. So you'll see the Miami Dolphins take on the New York Jets. And the Dolphins survive as they win 20-17 over the Jets. For the Dolphins, like I mentioned, they avoid the upset and they will improve to 8-3, and the Jets are going to drop to 4-7. And by the way, the Jets did have Tim Boyle as their starting quarterback. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, he come close, but just wasn't enough. Dolphins get the win. All right, now we're on to the 1 o'clock games, as we'll see another division matchup. That's like the 5th one that we've seen already. So we'll see the New Orleans Saints take on the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons was just way too much for the Saints today. They win 41-17. So Desmond Ridder returned for the Falcons after Taylor Heineke suffered an injury, and he was great today. So the Falcons, they stay first in the NFC South right now, as they'll improve to 7-4. And for the Saints, just more frustration down there for them, as they're going to drop now to 4-7. Up next, we have another division matchup. Got a lot of division matchups this week. So you'll see the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Cincinnati Bengals, who will not have Joe Burrow for the rest of the season. So we'll see how the Bengals can do without him. It was a low-scoring game, but the Steelers do get the win. They win 13-10. So the Steelers, they're going to move to second in the AFC North now, as they'll improve to 6-5. And the Bengals are going to drop back to third in the AFC North, as they'll drop to 5-6. Up next, you guessed it, another division matchup. This time in the AFC South, as you'll see the Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Houston Texans. The Texans keep their playoff hopes alive as they upset the Jaguars. They win 31-24. So for the Texans, they're starting to build momentum at the right time, as they're going to improve to 4-7 now. And as for the Jags, they came up close, but it wasn't enough, as now Jacksonville will fall to 6-5. Up next will be our first non-conference game of the video, as you'll see the Tampa Bay Bucks take on the Indianapolis Colts. And by the way, with the Texans defeating the Jaguars today, if the Colts get a win, they will move to first place in the AFC South. And how about this? The Bucks get another win. They win 28-23 over the Colts. So the Bucks, they're going to improve to 2-9 now. Congrats to them on the win. Of course, they would have to beat my Colts, but it is what it is. But speaking of the Colts, unfortunately, they missed out on an opportunity of going to first in the AFC South, as they'll drop to 5-6. And this is definitely going to help out the Jags a lot by their Florida teammate, the Tampa Bay Bucks, defeating the Colts. Up next, we'll see a rematch of Super Bowl 42 and Super Bowl 46, as you'll see the New England Patriots take on the New York Football Giants. The Giants tried to make an epic comeback at the end, but it wasn't enough, as the Patriots get the win 28-25. So the Giants are going to drop to 7-5, and the Patriots get a nice bounce back win after what happened a couple weeks ago when they blew that lead to the Colts. So the Patriots are going to improve now to 5-6. And our final game in the 1 o'clock window got a couple rookie quarterbacks going at it, as you'll see Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers take on Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. The Panthers getting a much needed win as they win 31-17 over the Titans. So the Titans are going to drop to 3-8 now, and the Panthers stay alive in the playoff race and in the NFC South Division race as they'll improve to 6-5. Next up is our 4 o'clock games as we're back to more division matchups as you'll see the Los Angeles Rams take on the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals get a bounce back win after a heartbreaker loss last week to the Texans. Cardinals win 27-20. So the Rams are going to drop to 3-8. And as for the Cardinals, they get the season sweep over the Rams. And now they're going to improve to 8-4, surprisingly. Up next, we'll see two teams that need to win bad to stay alive in the playoff race, as you'll see the Cleveland Browns take on the Denver Broncos. The Broncos was just too much for the Browns today. They win 39-20. So for the Browns, they're back to the losing column after getting a huge win over the Steelers last week, as they'll drop to 3-8 now. And for the Broncos, just like in real life, they got a good win streak going. They now won 3 in a row, and they're going to improve to 5-6. Up next, we got another division battle. Yes, another one. This time in the AFC West, as you'll see the Las Vegas Raiders take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, just like in real-life football, it started off rough for the Chiefs, but they eventually turned it around, and that's what they did. Chiefs win 28-14. So the Raiders, they tried, but it just wasn't enough as they dropped to 3-9. And for the Chiefs, they get a bounce-back win after dropping to the Eagles last week, as they'll improve to 10-1, and they start to inch closer and closer, clinching a playoff spot and even clinching the AFC West. And the final game in the 4 o'clock window should be a good one, as you'll see the Buffalo Bills take on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles needed a field goal to tie this game, but they couldn't get there on time. So the Bills hold on and win 30-27. This was a great game to watch. So the Bills are going to improve to 8-4 now, and the Eagles are going to drop to 7-4 after they got a huge win over the Chiefs last week. On to our Sunday night matchup now, as you will see the Baltimore Ravens take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Well, it was a fun one, but the Ravens ran away with it at the end. They win 31-21, so the Chargers are going to drop to 5-6, and the Ravens are going to improve to 9-3. And our final game of Week 12, our Monday night matchup, you'll see the Chicago Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings. What better way to end Week 12 with another division rivalry? I will admit, even though this game was only dominated by one team, it was a lot better than the real-life game. But the Vikings win 35-21, so the Bears are going to drop to 5-7, and the Vikings are going to improve to 5-7. And with the Vikings and Bears now having the same record, with the Vikings getting the season sweep, the Vikings will take third place in the NFC North. And there you have it. Week 12 is in the books. Congratulations to every team that won their game today. There's a look at the updated playoff picture, starting with the AFC. We had a 5-way tie from the Colts all the way down to the Patriots, but since the only head-to-head matchup was the Colts and Patriots, I thought it makes sense to have the Colts as the last spot in the playoffs, and then the Patriots being down below the other three teams since they lost to the Colts. The NFC is a whole different story because you had division leaders flip-flopping places, and then you had like a 5-way tie here. The only difference is there are a lot of head-to-head matchups. So how I figured out the tiebreaker, which is actually pretty funny, is Lions beat the Seahawks, who beat the Panthers, who beat the Cowboys, who beat the 49ers, who beat the Vikings, who beat the Bears. And by the way, I know I said this a lot, but I'm just going to say it again. This is based off of the Madden season. It's not based off of the real-life NFL football. This is based off of the Madden season, which is all the games that I simulate on Madden. There's a look at the Week 13 matchup. Got a lot of bye weeks next week. And we got some good games, including the Chiefs versus Packers one. The two best teams in the Madden season right now. That's going to be a fun one. And that's going to do it. I'm Robert Magic, and I'll see you on Week 13 of the 2023 Madden NFL season. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.